Right guys, you've seen a couple of my videos on YouTube now. Me driving old Waggo there around the track. I just thought it'd be better if I introduced myself. So, my name's Alex, AJ most people call me, and this is Waggo. Now I'm going to take you like a bit of a walk around the car, just so you know what I'm doing with it, what my plans are, etc, etc. Just keep you up to date with everything. So yeah, here goes nothing. So here's Waggo. As you can see, I've got a bit of a list to talk you through, so bear with us. But I'm going to go through with you the exterior first. So most of you know, obviously, it's a Ford Focus estate. That's pretty obvious. It's got a collection pre-facelift front bumper with a Seat Cooper R splitter. Then it's got the ST170 Xenons, as you can tell, which are very funky. I do like them. And then obviously the carbon fibre bonnet. It is carbon fibre, it's definitely carbon fibre, but I've wrapped it because the carbon fibre underneath wasn't in the best nick, so I thought I'd just re-wrap it. It looks a little bit better, still a bit meh, but a little bit better. But it's a track car at the end of the day, so it's never going to look perfect. So you get round to the side, you've got some just race car mirrors, basically carbon dipped. Looks pretty funky. And my own little covers to cover what was there before. Again, not the best, but it's a track car. So then we come round to the back. We've got the LED rear lights, and then obviously underneath you've got my own little custom made RS rear bumper for the estate, which took ages to do, and shout out to Steve Sylvester for finishing it off for me. It looks cool as hell. Then we get round to the side, you can obviously see that there is RS arches. I'm still going through trying to sort them out. I don't know whether I'm ever going to be able to open the door again, which is a bit of a lol. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to open the rear door again, but I don't ever plan on opening it anyway. But I'm still going to keep the look of the door to make it still look like an estate, because that's what I'm after. But yeah, that's the exterior done. Okay, let's just show you. Right then, so this is the interior. Obviously it's, as you see there, nice and stripped. Everything is, well, as much as I can take out for now has been stripped. I have got two of these seats, Bimako Cobras. Really good seat, by the way, I recommend them. I have got two of them, but my other one presently is being re-welded so it can sit further back. So yeah, also got a Joffro Brooks gear extension, shout out to him if he's available. But yeah, it's made my gear stick higher basically. It's just made it nicer to feel on track, etc. This makes it easier to change gear, etc. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, to go with that, I've got a Halfords gear knob. Yeah, I've been to Halfords for a gear knob because my other one looks a bit tatty and that one feels quite nice. So yeah, also I have a Omex rev limiter, which is there. That used to be the most fun button I've ever bought and had, but then I thought I'd better chill out on it a little bit, because obviously you use it and abuse it, it can bugger up your engine pretty much. But I've also got a 3 gauges there. I'll just show you what they are. There you go. So I've got an oil pressure, oil temperature and boost. I bet you're wondering why I've got boost. In the future I do plan on turbo in this car, so I thought I might as well get the gauge in there already, but it still reads up to 0 from my inlet, but obviously it won't go above because I haven't got boost. But yeah, got a OMP steering wheel. It's on the piss because my wheels are turned at the minute. I don't think I've said, but the battery's in the boot. Relocated to the boot, so I've got a bit more room in the engine for more upgrades, etc, etc. And the fishnet, which you can see. Shout out to Nathan Skinner for giving me that. A good lad. There he is. And then obviously the little kind of strut bar I've got there. Danny Thorpe, he's the guy who, one of my best mates. He's the guy who welded that up for me. It still needs spraying, as most of the car does, but it's in there and it's doing its job. So that's the interior. Okay, moving on to wheels and tyres. The front wheels are XXR 527, 7.5J and 35 offset, just so they'll fit the Brembos easier. The tyres are Federal RSR, really good tyres, I'll rate them. You can't really tell at the minute, but they are. I've had them on track and they are awesome for what they are. Well, the price is pretty good as well. It comes to the back, as I say, I've got XXR 527s again, but these are 8.25J, so a little bit kind of wider, but they've got like a smaller offset, just so it doesn't look a bit out of place for the brakes, etc. But yeah, that's the wheels and tyres. Okay, for the suspension, what I've gone for is, and I'm a little bit embarrassed by saying this, but it works and it's been fine on track and it's not ever let me down, and I've had them for like 2 years. Is the fronts, I've got FK coilovers, just the shocks, and then I've got custom 11K springs from Spring Coil in Sheffield. So obviously they're a lot stiffer than the standard, what's come standard with them, but I've got the FK shocks and they've done me proud. I can't complain of them. The rears are gas shocks, again just the shocks, and I've got some custom made 8K springs from Spring Coil, which are really good. Again, I recommend them, the Spring Coil in Sheffield. Speak to a guy called Carl, he sorted me out, and obviously he's made my car look like as low as this sort of thing, as handles as well as it does. I've got standard drop links. I found that the upgraded ones you can get, the adjustable ones, they have play in them really quickly, and they're just useless really. So I kind of just put the standard ones on and they've lasted me a while. I've got Polybush wishbones anti-roll bar link in there for the suspension. That's just for the front. For the rear, I've just got brand new wishbones, etc. trailing arms, but they have got obviously brand new bushings in and they're alright. Again, it handles really well on track, so that's all I was after really. So yeah, that's the suspension. Okay, so my brakes, as you can tell, they're far from standard. I have got non-grooved, non-slitted discs, because when I did have grooved and slitted discs, I got a horrible vibration. I think it's because the discs are so big and they warp quite easily under high pressure, so I got recommended to try like standard looking discs, and since then I've never gone back, and they do an awesome job. But the front discs are Comp Brake, from Comp Brake, for a Mark 1 RS. Obviously the pads are DS2 500s, and the actual Brembos are off a Fiat Coupe. They're pretty much the same as an RS, but there is a slight difference, as in the back of them's different, but other than that I think they're pretty much the same. But Gary Keeble on ST170 owners, he hooked me up with them, and obviously he's done a really good job. He refurbed them for me and made sure everything was alright before I set off onto the track, sort of thing. So yeah, I recommend him for buying them. The rears are just Mintex discs, Mintex pads. As you can tell, they are grooved, but there's not as much pressure, not as much heat getting into them, so they do work quite well. And obviously they stop the rear end, which is good. And obviously the ST170 calipers, as you can see there. So yeah, all in all, both brakes. I mean, beforehand I did have Mondeo brakes at the front with ST170 discs, and obviously ST170 rears, but obviously going on track they heat up really quickly, so I just needed something bigger and something that was going to stop me faster and all the time without fading. So there's the brakes. Okay then, so there's the bit where everyone has been waiting to see, I think. People have been asking me questions non-stop of what engine it is and what it's running, etc. So here we go, I'm going to tell you. So it's got, I'm just going to go through with you basically. So for the cooling side of things, I've got a, you can just about see it there, Durenza alloy radiator. Obviously there's not much difference between standard and mine, just it does help a little bit in the cooling side of things. I've never overheated with this car anyway. Inside I have inside the engine I've got RS 1800 cams, and they just give a bit of a higher lift. So higher lift means more fuel, more air, bigger bang, goes a bit faster. To go with that, I've obviously got the shims, because otherwise I'd be tapping everywhere and it's not a great feeling, or noise or anything like that. And stiffer valve springs as well, just to take that a little bit more power, a little bit easier. To go with all that, I have got Turbo Sport. Where is it? Turbo Sport racing veneers, adjustable veneers. Basically, that's just it's better for the mapper. I can advance or retard the cams, and it makes it like torquey or more BHP, etc, etc. I don't know exactly how it works, but obviously when you get it mapped, they do all the work and make it go as quick as possible. In there as well I have standard Mark 1 RS spark plugs. They seem to work quite well with my little setup I've got going. With standard just 1.8 litre HT leads and the standard coil. That all works well. I've never really needed to upgrade it. It's been fine ever since I've done it. Down there you can't really see, but I have deleted the aircon, just because I never use it, never have used it. It frees up the engine a little bit, makes it a bit more rev happy. Doesn't make it any faster, just makes it more rev happy, and that's what you want on a track sort of thing. There we have our oil catch tank, which has been the bane of my life. I've got it set up fine now, but it took ages to get it set up properly. So I've got it running from, you just see down there, the crank to the top, and then I've got one from the top to the head, to the rocker. Then I've got a vacuum that goes into my inlet pipe, as you can see there. And then you just about see there the return that then is a T-piece into the crank. So it is a bit of a faff, but it's there and it does its job now, and it's never caused me a problem since. But trying to get it set up properly was a proper pain in the bum. Okay, so I've got FSC fuel pressure regulator there. A lot of people say this is useless, but I've had this for nearly 3 years now, and it's obviously it's better for the mapper, but it's been fine, absolutely fine. I've had no problems with it whatsoever. And it obviously, when you put more air in the car, you can put more fuel in the car, and when you can adjust it, it's just a lot easier for the mapper to do, because you can adjust it manually rather than over the computer. So that's a good thing. You can see about there, oil cooler, no-cal. Bought it off eBay. It's well worth the money, especially if you track day in it. It only basically it just goes to your, you can't really see, but the pipes are down there, the oil filter. When it goes to the oil filter, it's like a sandwich plate, and it just, when the oil filters, it goes through the cooler, and then when it goes through the cooler, it goes through your engine. Keeps the engine cool, especially when you're giving it some stink. Also, while we're here, we've got a fan relocation. So your standard, you usually have 2 fans at the back. One's for your aircon, one's for your, obviously your engine coolant. But I deleted my aircon so I could delete a fan and the radiator and everything. So I was able to put this up the front. Again, it's just off an eBay account. I think it cost me 20 quid, but as I say, it does its job and it sits quite nicely down there without even noticing. That's a good thing. Okay, to keep all the engine staying still when I'm ragging it around like a complete maniac, don't know if you can see there, but I've got Vibrotechnic Polybush engine mount, or gearbox mount should I say, and then over here it's the same again, Vibrotechnic's engine mount. What I had to do to mod this, because I had no idea, the ST170 and the Z-Tech engine mounts are completely different. So I had to obviously take the engine half up and apart and everything just to fit that bracket. But once I fit the bracket, bolted the ST170 engine mount on, seemed to be working fine. I've also got a polybrushed, you can't see it from there because I'm not jacking the car up, but I've got a polybrushed gearbox mount underneath as well, the lower one. Obviously that helps. It's a bit vibraty, as you see when I'm doing videos and that, and I keep the car still. It seems to vibrate the camera a lot. It probably makes a bit of noise, like a few of you have said. It kind of sounds like someone's ripping the Velcro off something. But yeah, I've got that. Also, I've got a 1.6 coolant bottle. The only reason I've got that is so I can see them. That's the only reason. It makes no difference whatsoever to the coolant or anything like that. So that was easy enough. I've got a strut brace. It's not the best in the world, but again, it does its job. It's nice and solid. Keeps me on the straight and narrow. Oh yeah, behind there for the oil cooler as well, I have got, oh, for the engine as well, I've got a K&N high flow oil filter. Been recommended that if you track it, then you need to get something that's higher flow so it's easier on your pump, etc. But yeah, all in all, that is the engine. If I've missed anything, just comment and I'll try and help you out. Oh yeah, also I've got the custom made intake pipe that I've got there that goes to a ported throttle body. I'm not taking it apart, but it's in there. And then a big old pipe across Group A cone. I didn't really want it to be that big, but I just bought it cheap and I thought it was going to come smaller than that, but it came obviously this size and I thought, well, I'll stick it on now, I've got it. So yeah, that there is the engine. Let's say if you've got any questions about it, let us know. But it's a 1.8 Z-Tech. When I got it dynoed, it was 156 brake and 162 foot-pound of torque. But I've done a lot of work since then, so I'm guessing it's more. I'm guessing it's more like 160 now. God knows what the torque is, but I'm reckoning it's something around there. But yeah, if you've got any questions, just obviously comment down below, and I'll try and answer the best I can for you. Good. Just to mention, because I forgot, obviously it's quite a big part of the car, the exhaust system. It's a ST170 manifold, and you can't really see the rest of it, but it's a Corton Miller D-cat, and then from the D-cat I've just got a power flow system that goes all the way to it's 2.5 inch that goes all the way to a nice 3.5 inch tip. It's a bit dirty in a minute, but makes some good noises, which is sick. But yeah, I think we're coming to the end of it now, but I think the last thing I haven't mentioned is the transmission. Obviously, shout out to Joffo Brooks again for the extension. It's made changing gear on track a hell of a lot easier and a hell of a lot nicer sort of thing. So, but yeah, the gearbox is just a standard IB5. A lot of people say they're a bit melty, but to be honest, I've never had a problem with it. I'm touching wood right now, but I've never had an issue with it, which is good. Inside the gearbox though, I have got a Black Diamond Stage 3 clutch, which most of my friends will know. It's very, very bitey. It's on or off. It's not very heavy, but it is on or off. It literally, if you're sat at traffic lights, it is annoying because you look like you're an amateur and you've never driven a car before, but it's, I was to say, when you come to track, it's just awesome. And a Black Diamond solid lighting flywheel, which again makes it a little bit more rev happy. Just seems to go a lot nicer. Wouldn't have picked up the BHP any like better sort of thing, but just makes it nicer to drive and easier to rev. But yeah, that is my car, guys. I'm glad you're viewing. I'm glad you like it. But hoping to get a few more bits for it in the coming season. So yeah, guys, that's the beastie. So if you like the video, just like, comment, share. Also, if you could subscribe, that would be absolutely amazing, because I need to get my ratings up. And if you do like this video, I'll do more of them, and then more upgrade videos, etc, etc, and hopefully you and me and you will get along quite nicely, and be interesting for you to stay around and watch the car get built. There is a few more upgrades that I'm doing in the next coming few weeks, mostly on downforce. And you're going to think it's a little bit daft having downforce on something like this, but again, it is a daily, so it will look like this most of the time, but for track I do want it to be better around corners, faster, etc, etc. So yeah, stay in touch, keep updated, subscribe for us. Sweet. See you later, guys.